Hi. The purpose of today's meeting is to run through our financial services and credit guide. This is normally part of our first meeting when I meet face-to-face with clients. But in this instance, you are able to have a look at a time that's convenient to you and ask me any questions by contacting me via telephone, email or Skype afterwards. A financial services and credit guide is an essential document that you must receive from anyone providing financial advice these days. It's designed to make sure you know who you're dealing with and their qualifications, their experience. So I'll just go through that now. In my case, we've prepared the financial services and credit guide with a cover that shows you who is in my support team at this stage. So I've got a small team that help me make sure that all of the advice that we give to clients is appropriate and is documented in a compliant way. Hopefully you've got your own copy of this that you've downloaded from our website, or maybe we've emailed to you. And I'll just go through it page by page. You'll notice on the second page, which is actually marked page 1, that there's a logo of Tactical Solutions, which I own with my wife Julie, and also the logo of AMP Financial Planning. My business, Tactical Solutions, is effectively operating much like a franchise within AMP Financial Planning. AMP Financial Planning hold the licence to provide advice, and I'm an authorised representative, and so is Tactical Solutions. All of our contact details are listed on that next page, and then in the section called Our Services, it really lists the areas where we can provide advice. So it starts with investments and strategic asset allocation. So we can provide advice on investments and a broad range of them. And strategic asset allocation is essentially just looking at how much shares, how much property, how much cash, how much bonds you might have in your investment portfolio. And that may even be through your superannuation. Similarly, how much Australian shares, how much international shares. We will make an assessment of your risk profile and ensure that your investments, if we're going through the advice process, we'll ensure that we're recommending things that are in line with your attitude to risk. Budget and cash flow management is listed there also. It's so important for you to understand your income and your expenses. If you're spending more money than you're earning, there's going to be a problem at some point, clearly. AMP has a number of spreadsheets, for example, or other calculators on their website that we can direct you to ensure that you've got a really good understanding of your budget, of your cash flow. I'd recommend that if you're getting paid fortnightly, for example, you use a spreadsheet that shows your income coming in fortnightly and lists all of your expenses fortnightly. I recall when I was paying my mortgage fortnightly but getting paid monthly, that meant that twice a year there were three fortnightly payments in 1 month. So those months were particularly difficult. So the timing of your cash flow is really important. Other issues we can look at, debt management. I'm not a mortgage broker, but I can refer you to mortgage brokers. But we do provide advice about your debt from a strategic point of view. For example, if you've got an investment property, we may recommend that you reduce the mortgage on your existing principal place of residence rather than reducing the mortgage on your investment property, because of the tax advantages of the tax deductibility of the interest on any income earning investment. Salary packaging is important for so many people. That includes salary sacrificing into superannuation, but in addition to that, many people have the opportunity to salary package a car or other items, especially those who work in the not-for-profit sector or work for a public hospital. Superannuation strategies and retirement planning is a large part of what we do. For most people, superannuation is one of their biggest investments, or the holding structure for the largest component of their wealth. And we can help you with contribution strategies, cashing out strategies, and investment strategies within superannuation. And retirement planning is really what it's all about then, utilising your superannuation to ensure that you're optimising your income in retirement. We also cover personal insurance, and specifically that's death cover, total and permanent disability cover, income protection and trauma cover. So death cover, it's fairly clear what that is for. It's often called life insurance rather than death cover. But if you've got a mortgage and kids, most people realise that they need some life insurance or death cover. Having said that, disability is worse than death financially, I believe, and total and permanent disability cover is equally as important, maybe more so, even for those without children. One of the most important insurances, though, I believe, is income protection. If you've got an income of more than $20,000 a year, roughly, then you're generally going to be able to obtain income protection, depending on what occupation you have. We can offer income protection from a range of insurers. It's not just AMP that provide the products that we recommend. And income is really the source of your current and future wealth, so that if you're unable to work due to illness or injury, it would make sense to have some replacement of that through income protection insurance. And then trauma cover really covers events like cancer, stroke, heart attack, and provides a lump sum in the event of those and a long list of other conditions. The various insurers that we offer are constantly reviewing and updating those definitions. And if we use cancer as an example, you may be unable to claim on death cover, total and permanent disability cover or income protection, but you would then be able to claim on a trauma policy. So we would go through the process of working out with you which of those insurances we would recommend. Estate planning is a very important part of our process. We work closely with various solicitors, and it's really important that you are dealing with a solicitor who knows how to write a will properly, and ensuring that the nomination of beneficiaries on your superannuation, for example, lines up with your wishes as defined in your will. Estate planning extends to things like guardianship and powers of attorney, and we can provide advice around those things, but we can't do what a solicitor does, so we'd always recommend that you get legal advice on those issues. Centrelink and other government benefits is an important part of the considerations that we take into account when we're providing financial advice. Many of our retiree clients are receiving Centrelink pensions. I'd suggest maybe most of our clients are receiving a part pension from the government to supplement their own investments, often through their account-based, superannuation-based retirement income streams. So our job in providing advice about all those things is to optimise what you're receiving from the potential government benefits. That also extends to the Department of Veterans Affairs for those that are eligible. We provide ongoing advice to our clients who choose to receive our ongoing service, regular portfolio reviews, and in addition to that we are specialists in self-managed super. I'm accredited with the Self-Managed Superannuation Professionals Association as a specialist advisor, and we also have significant experience with aged care advice, employer superannuation, retirement planning and redundancy situations. On that same page there's a list of products which really flow out of those advice areas. So if you have any questions on any of those specifically, please let us know. The way that we receive your instructions is essentially through a face-to-face meeting where we would make notes, or these days we can receive your instructions over email, We can have a Skype meeting to confirm and clarify all of the issues before we then document our advice. AMP's approach to selecting products is one whereby obviously AMP provide many of the products through AMP Financial Planning. AMP has recently purchased AXA, which has expanded the product range significantly. But for example, with respect to income protection, we can also look at providers like MLC, Asteron, Aviva, and a range of others. On page 5 of the Financial Services and Credit Guide, you'll notice my authorised representative number and credit representative number, and details of my qualifications and experience. I'm actually, I mentioned earlier, owner with my wife of Tactical Solutions. We operate that through a trust structure, but Tactical Solutions Proprietary Limited is the trustee, and I receive a salary from the business, bonuses, and can receive dividends or directors' fees. The next section talks about referral fees. So if there is a referral from an accountant to me, for example, and I have an arrangement to pay them, then all of those referral fees are laid out in that section, payments for referrals, and that's either for referrals to or referrals from other professionals. So there's no hidden payments either way. With respect to AMP Financial Planning, I mentioned before I'm an authorised representative of them. AMP is a big organisation and has many different divisions. Many of those are listed on the section listed, AMP Financial Planning's relationship with other AMP companies. In addition, they have relationships with external companies, and there's some disclosure about the costs or fees that may be paid with respect to those relationships. There's a few other sections that I'll leave you to read, for example about WealthView ERAP and Portfolio Care Administration Services. In terms of paying for the services that we provide, they're also noted a few pages afterwards, so I'll go through that in more detail on page 17. The other benefits that we may receive from being associated with AMP Financial Planning are listed, but for example, if I bring a lot of business in for AMP, they may send me on a conference overseas. There is a privacy policy available online at amp.com.au, and there's also a complaints procedure, both internally and externally. The external complaints procedure is actually through the Financial Ombudsman Service. Our practice and AMP Financial Planning are covered by professional indemnity insurance. There's also some information there about managed discretionary accounts, which is essentially an account that may apply in some instances where you authorise us to purchase more shares, for example, where dividends are being paid into that account. I use that as an example of what a managed discretionary account is. I mentioned before our fees. Our fee for preparing a comprehensive statement of advice for a couple is $2,200. It is in fact the same price for a single person. Where that advice is about transitioning or retiring, transitioning to retirement or retiring, we charge $3,300. So that's essentially for those over 55. Also, if we are providing advice for gearing strategies where you would be borrowing money to invest in other investments, that is a little more complex. So we have a fee of $3,300 there. And for self-managed superannuation advice, it is a fee of $5,500. There are some instances where we can charge a lower fee if we reduce the scope of the advice. So if you're interested in that, please let us know. Now, our ideal client is someone who wants advice and is happy to pay for it, and then also happy to pay for us to implement that advice. The implementation cost will be fully detailed in your statement of advice, and that will depend on the complexity of what we're implementing. Similarly, our ideal client is someone who then wants ongoing advice. And at this point, our way of charging for that is that we charge 1.1% of your account balance. So, for example, if you've got $400,000 invested, we're charging $4,000 a year, well, it's 1.1% of the balance. So if your investments go up, our fees will go up, and if your investments go down, the money we earn will reduce as well. So we're certainly keen to help you have your investments grow over time. There are still some commissions payable on old style investments that are already in place, on insurances there's still commissions, and on some of the banking products. When you are paying us for ongoing service, we've got a commitment to provide service, and that's also detailed in the section headed Our Ongoing Service Level Agreement. Essentially, where revenue from your business is over $2,200 to us, we will be providing a fully documented statement of advice each year. The final page there lists a number of other businesses that we can refer you to if required for wills, powers of attorney, for accounting, or for general insurance. So I hope that's helped explain our financial services and credit guide. If you have any questions, please contact us, and I look forward to helping you go through to the next step.